it's Darla with Courtney Gregory's American Family Insurance Agency, and I am here with Nicholas Atkin at Myers Mortuary, and we are going to go over some funeral planning tips with him. All right, so Nicholas, what do you wish people knew prior to a loved one passing?
Well, there's really two main things I want to talk about, and then we'll touch on a third towards the end. But the first one is you'd be surprised at how many people do not know the information of their, especially if it's a parent, whether it's their social security number, their parents' names and where they were born, and they don't know what they want for the services is the second one. So it's the vital statistics that we need for death certificates and the obituary, and then what they actually truly want for the services, because we get families coming in bickering back and forth saying, no, mom wants this, no, she would definitely want this, and going back and forth because there's that lack of communication before people pass. And so we have a book right here. It's called The Personal Wishes Organizer, and it's free to everybody that comes in and meets with me. And when you actually meet with me, we can order additional for some of your loved ones and friends that you think might want this. And in that book we have the forms where you can fill out everything that we need to know for the death certificates and get down into the minute details of what type of service you want, whether that's cremation or full service burial or something in between, like a full service cremation.
So Nick, what are some advantages to pre-planning for a funeral?
The main one, and why people do it, is to take that emotional stress and financial and not have to worry about where they're coming up with the funds and what they're going to be doing. And we've actually surveyed hundreds of thousands of people, and the number one reason by far is that emotional burden. And then some of the other ones are, relieving the emotional stress, fulfilling responsibility that they feel is theirs to plan for the funeral, and then just giving themselves the peace of mind knowing that their family's not going to have to do this all alone. And even though most people that I meet with have some other type of life insurance, our services that we do, we require payment up front, and you'll see that everywhere you go in the state of Utah, that you'll have to pay before the services are complete, meaning that the life insurance won't be there for 3 more months. So who's going to pay for the funeral and get reimbursed by the life insurance? And so this is just one of those vehicles that people use to enhance their other forms of life insurance and estate planning. And one of the major advantages of pre-planning, many people coming in just husband and wife, and some that come in with all their kids because they want to be part of the process. And then the emotion is not there, and so they don't overspend on anything. And say you take a husband and a wife who've been married 20 or 30 or 50 years, they probably made most, if not all, decisions together over their lifetime, so it only makes sense that they should be able to make the decisions about the end of life together. And besides that, when you pre-plan, you'll make better financial decisions, because those who don't pre-plan tend to spend between 20 and 30% more. And then when you do pre-plan, and you get to lock in today's prices, and that way it just saves you thousands over the long term. And I was actually meeting with someone yesterday, came in wondering about his father's service that we just completed a couple weeks ago. And so I sat down with him and I compared the pre-plan that his father did 17 years ago with what it would have cost at today's cost. And just the casket services and vault alone was close to a $6,000 increase. And so we've been seeing over the last 50 years, they've been tracking this very closely, and every 14 to 15 years, the price of funeral services and cremations double. And so if you can pay something now and guarantee the price for something that's going to happen, 30 or 40 years in the future, you can save thousands. The advantage that I'll speak of right now is the ability to solve family disputes. Because if you have more than one kid, you're going to come in and they're all going to have different opinions. And that's the beauty of human life, is we're all different. But we want to be able to make it a peaceful time for the families. And so when we can have the book and put it in front of the kids with their own parents' handwriting, saying this is what they wanted, I mean, it is night and day. You can come in and do an arrangement in under 30 minutes if everything's pre-planned. You're just saying, okay, this is the date, here's the obituary, this is what we're doing, and we're done. Versus, sometimes I've seen over 6 hours of people coming in and making these decisions because there's over 125 decisions that need to be made, and we can catalog close to 90, 95 of them in the book.
Okay, so one last question. What age or who should think about putting a funeral plan in place?
The short answer, everybody should think about it, but I mean, realistically, not everybody's going to come in and do it because it's not something people want to talk about. And so, right now, my average age is about 67 because it's right at retirement. People are moving funds around from their 401ks and mutual funds into the retirement vehicles that are going to take care of them for the rest of their life. And so, it's just a natural step in that process to do it at that time. But you don't have to do it at that time. When you're a little bit younger, if you're I recommend about 45 to 60 coming in and doing it, because if you're in that age, most of the time you're empty nesters or getting close to it, and you have some extra disposable income, and we can save you even more if you're healthy and don't use any form of tobacco than just your standard pre-planning. But I also have some folks with a little bit more experience that come in doing it more towards the end of their life, and that's driven by their age getting up there, or sickness, or most of the time they're going into a nursing home or skilled care facility. And this is the time that I kind of want to tie to all three questions, is I wish more people would understand the Medicaid and issues that come with that if they're going in a nursing home. You don't have to spend all your money to get on Medicaid. You can come in and create a legacy or an estate for your family by putting together your own irrevocable funeral plan, and you can even pay for your kids and grandkids if you have enough, or even if it's just the professional services or the casket that you want to do. You don't have to lose your money. You can use it in a loving and meaningful way for your family.
Thank you very much. I think our listeners will definitely appreciate all of this great information. Definitely a lot of things that I didn't know about myself. So I sure appreciate your time. And thanks so much for sharing with us, Nicholas. Can you tell us how can people get a hold of you to start their pre-planning?
Okay. Yes, you can call here directly to Myers Mortuary, 435-723-8484, and just ask for Nicholas. Or my cell phone is 801-645-9717. And you can text or call anytime, and we'll get an appointment scheduled, and I can come to you, or we can meet here at the mortuary, whenever you desire.
Sounds great. And what about a website? Is there any information they can gather on a website prior to coming?
Yeah, it's funny because most people don't ever look it up on the websites for this information, but we do have Myers-Mortuary, so you got to put that dash in there, .com, and there's a page on there, pre-planning. You can walk your way all through and get prices and all that stuff. But again, only like 8% of people do that because the rest want to come in to see me.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Nicholas. Have a good one.
Thank you.